from your official UK sports station. This is BBN Gameday, presented by UK Federal Credit Union.
Welcome to BBN Gameday. Considering the fact that it's middle of May, we do have a lot to get to today. I'm Keith Farmer.
I'm Christy Thomas. Honestly, I can't believe it's the middle of May that we're even talking about that. We're ready for a jam-packed show here. We're previewing several positions for Kentucky football. Plus, we're talking some softball. Why? Because they keep winning. They won game one, and they're back in action today.
But we'll start with the basketball team because there have been a lot of roster changes since the last time we talked. Here's a look at the team as it stands now. John Calipari has never had a roster quite like this one. 4 transfers, 3 returners from last season, and 3 true freshmen. In total, that's 10 scholarship players who are definitely on board, split evenly between the front court and the back court, Christy. And so, you know, with still some decisions to be made, I like, as Coach Cal would say, I like my team.
I like my team. Well, don't you like that third column, that still deciding column, because that's really a game changer as well, too, if those guys decide to come back. So the latest guy to officially join the program is Severe Wheeler, transferring to Kentucky from Georgia. He'll play alongside Ty Washington at point guard. Like we said, there have been so many changes to this roster in the last week or so, but Wheeler has been following along. Here's what's exciting him about playing for this particular team.
The amount of shooting that we have on the roster, the versatility that we have. I'm looking forward to playing with guys, you know, a guy like CJ who's almost shot 50% from 3 last year, a prolific scorer, and Kellen Grady. We have some really good incoming freshmen like Bryce, Damian, Ty. You also have the bigs and the athletes with Lance, you know, and with Oscar. So I'm super excited about that. It's a whole new team, a whole new situation, and I'm ready for it. And I think we're going to have a pretty good team. And, you know, if we get down to it and play really well, to go together and practice hard, compete hard, we're going to have a chance to make a run at the national championship.
Well, that about covered it. There you go. More shooters, more versatility. He'll be the one directing his teammates and dishing out assists. Listen, you have to like all of this, but do you like the way Coach Cal has constructed this team? It's been odd, but it's been good.
Well, he's taking advantage of what he's been given, right, with the transfer rule. What I like about this is the fact that he's always been pretty good about putting a team together of freshmen and getting them to buy into you know, being one, working for each other. Now he's got guys that have so many games under their belts. That's what gets you excited about this. And then you throw in the freshmen that are pretty good as well. I think that's what makes this a great team.
I think it's huge, especially at that point guard position. And then if you throw in Davion Mintz and he comes back, my goodness, what a wealth of experience you have coming back at point guard, something this team really needs. Yeah.
Well, Calipari heard your cries for more shooters, and surprise, surprise, he's coming through there. C.J. Frederick is transferring to Kentucky from Iowa, where he averaged over 47% from deep throughout his 2 years as a Hawkeye. He'll join Davidson transfer Kellen Grady, true freshman Ty Washington, and returner Dante Allen as the team's primary three-point shooters. And of course, we still don't know what Davion Mintz will do. Here's what Frederick told us to expect from Kentucky's perimeter next season.
I think they should expect just a team that's going to come out every game and give it their best and try to win. Like I said, I want to win at all costs. I'm going to do everything I can to win, and I think those guys are the same way. I think they're hungry. I'm hungry. We want a great season next year. We want a great environment. We got shot makers, a lot of athletes. It's going to be a fun year.
And Christy, I don't know, you know, no matter how it played out last year, that was what was missing. You missed some guys that could really stretch the court, could knock down the three.
Sharpshooters, guys that you could really depend on. You know, Dante Allen became that guy, but then you have to have more people around you. You got to be able to work inside out. This is a team I think that's going to be able to do that and do it with some experience out there, as I mentioned earlier, which I just think is great. So what I love that he said, we're hungry, because BBN is too, trust me. So this is going to be great. All right, the Kentucky basketball program has announced its 2021 summer camp schedule. This year there will be father-son and father-daughter camps. Love that. Multiple satellite camps and a 3-day Camp Cal. Things kick off with satellite camps June 1st and finish up with Camp Cal on June 28th. Participants will have a chance to learn from Coach Cal, Orlando Antigua, Jen Coleman, and maybe even get a chance to meet a new Wildcat or two. You can find a link to register for camp. Head out to bbngameday.com. Pretty cool opportunity there to be able to interact with all those folks. So get out, take your little one there.
All right, it is game day for Kentucky softball. The Cats are back in action at noon for day 2 of the Lexington Regional. UK beat Northwestern in Friday's game 3-2. Big performances by freshman Riley Smith and pitcher Autumn Humes, and they'll need those efforts again today. If you need a reason to head to John Kropp Stadium today at noon, other than some beautiful weather in Lexington, Head coach Rachel Lawson has a few more for you.
I think one of the reasons we've been so successful in all of our previous regionals is because the Big Blue Nation comes out, they give us a huge energy boost, and because of that, we've put up a lot of runs. But also, I think they make the other team nervous. So they truly are a weapon when we have everybody back in the seat. So, I'm really hoping that the BBN shows up and helps give us that leg up that we'll need to advance.
All right, so listen to Coach. Head to ukathletics.com/NCAA tickets now to get yours before today's noon game. Coming up next on BBN Game Day, we'll knock out another position preview for the upcoming football season.
Darian Kennard is back for his senior year and is ready to make a big impact. We're talking offensive tackles right after this.
BBN Game Day, presented by UK Federal Credit Union, sponsored by Coca-Cola, Hunt Brothers Pizza, Kentucky Legend, Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, Kroger, Lexington Opera House, Papa John's, Shelter Insurance, and by Skyline Chili.
Thank you for hooking Logan up here with this membership.
You know, fellas, you don't have to be associated with UK to become a member.
Want to become a UKFCU member? There are many ways to join. Seriously, find out how online. UKFCU. It's banking, only better.
Hey, Cash.
My man.
Today tastes like staying in. Like our go-to place. Tastes like anticipating. And a little bit like waiting. Today tastes like a piece of the action, and it never tasted this good.
At Kroger, keeping food fresher than fresh means being on your A game every hour of every day. Sure, it's more work for us, but it's more fresh for you. And that's why everything at Kroger comes guaranteed fresh, or we'll make it right. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
You're watching BBN Game Day, presented by UK Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back to BBN Game Day. The Kentucky football team got some really good news at the end of last season. All-American Darian Kennard skipped the NFL draft to come back to school for his senior season to prove he could play left tackle.
Listen, I'm a little bit surprised, but I love it. I'm so glad that he did it, but that's just one half of the equation on the edges of the O-line. So today we're breaking down the offensive tackle position, one that's full of guys with something to prove. Darian Kennard, Jeremy Flax, Nasir Watkins, and now with the departure of Nick Lewis this spring, John Young could find his way onto the 2-deep depth chart. Would love to see what John Young can do.
They always like those Kentuckians being in there, but this conversation has to start with Darian Kennard. Second team All-American, second team All-SEC, 26 consecutive starts at tackle. How about 47 knockdown blocks last season, and would have been an early round draft pick had he decided to leave, but he came back.
It feels really good, running plays with the offense makes you just running the NFL's type style. Getting out there and being able to run as a big man, kind of scares a lot of the defensive guys. So I feel like coming up season, I feel like it's really going to be a good time to show what I can do in an NFL type environment. Really improve myself and get better.
So he's moved to the left side to replace Landon Young, looking to prove that he can be an elite level pass protector as well as one of the best run blockers in the country. You said it. I mean, he's back, and I love it. And I love the fact that he is trying to make that move.
Well, and he's dangerous. He's a guy that has something to prove, is looking to prove something. So as good as he was last year, a guy now with something to prove, I think, becomes even more dangerous. So I like everything I hear about it. Well, after Kennard, the waters start to get a little muddy. The only other tackle on that roster that has seen extensive playing time is Nasir Watkins. That came in a backup role in 2018-19. A knee injury robbed him of most of the 2020 season, but a senior Watkins has experience on both the left and right sides of the line. So he's a contender to start at that right tackle spot, provided he can get and stay healthy. It's a big question, though. Coach Stoops told us Watkins wasn't able to practice with the team this spring.
After that, none of these guys have really played that much. Talking about Jeremy Flax, he's played in 2 games last season against Vandy and again on senior night against South Carolina. But in Watkins' absence this spring, Flax has made a big jump and earned himself a spot with the first team.
I think Flax right now is made himself a cornerstone over there right now at right tackle, and Dave Wallabaw's just kind of getting back into the flow of things, and he's definitely a young athletic kid that we're excited about. But I think Flax right now has probably solidified himself a little bit there at right tackle and done a nice job. You know, really more athletic than I thought he was.
Yeah, maybe Flax seemed more athletic because he says he's dropped 30 pounds. He's also a highly touted JUCO guy from that Detroit pipeline that Kentucky has tapped into often lately. He was one of the top-rated JUCO players in the country when he chose Kentucky over Auburn, and those junior college roots are something that he wouldn't change.
And I knew I wasn't going to be able to get those big offers that everybody else had. So going straight there out of high school was the only thing I had in my mind if I wanted to continue to play football. And then in high school, I got some trouble back in the day. I mean, it's not really that bad, but it affected my career. I didn't play sports my junior year at all. No sports, period, basketball, football. And of course, the junior year is when everybody start getting the offers, stuff like that. I never got that opportunity because of dumb decisions that I made. And just now looking back on that, I see it's a lot of regret, but I wouldn't change it though, because it made me who I am today and brought me here to UK.
That's a redshirt sophomore sounding wiser and wiser, more so than his years.
I love everything that the guy said.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, your past experiences make you who you are today. If you learn from him, I think he's saying all the right things. So let's give the kid a chance. I love it. And you know, you can't count out the other Kentucky kid either. That's John Young. He hasn't played a snap yet with Kentucky on his chest, but he's one of the highest ranked tackle recruits that Stoops has brought in, ranked as a top 15 tackle in the 2020 class. He looks to fit into the rotation this season in a backup role. Everyone is so excited about Young coming in as a big-time in-state recruit. So if he could take that next step this season, the BBN is going to be really happy. I have no doubt this guy can do it. No doubt.
Young isn't the only young, highly rated recruit on the roster. Josh Jones, DeAndre Buford, and Jake Pope have all been in the program a couple of years and are looking to make their way onto the field for the first time. Then there are the 2 freshmen. You heard Liam Cohen mention David Wallaball. Plus Paul Rodriguez, who hasn't made it onto campus yet, but there is another 3-star guy that we're excited about.
Bottom line, one of these guys, plus John Young, will likely see quite a bit of playing time for the first time in their career. A lot of talent at this position. We just need to know how it's going to transfer into competition in the SEC. But listen, I'll tell you what we know now about the Big Blue Wall is there is history. There is precedent being set for them being really, really good.
Yeah.
I have no doubt they'll pick right up where they left
and the
off.
fact that you don't want some of these guys maybe just jumping right in it, because it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It means there's some establishment there, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. All right, we're not done yet. We're going to take a quick break, drink some water, and come back ready to dive back in.
Yes, we are. Next up, we're talking defensive ends. That's right, Josh Paschal, and there are some other need-to-know names as well. We got you. That's next on BBN Gameday.
Hunt Brothers Pizza has been proudly serving communities across America for over 25 years. Choose from Hunt Brothers Pizza's original crust or thin crust. Then customize your pizza with any of our 10 toppings to choose from at no extra charge. With that many options, there's sure to be a topping combination for everyone to enjoy a Hunt Brothers Pizza. Download the Hunt Brothers Pizza app to find one of our 7,500 locations inside a convenience store near you.
No one knows better than me that car crashes happen. But what I don't understand are the injuries and the deaths that are 100% preventable. Like the injuries caused by folks who will not buckle up their seatbelt, or crashes caused by folks who won't stop messing with their phone. Sometimes the drivers in those wrecks can't be saved. So please be safe, Kentucky. Buckle up, put the phone down.
You're watching BBN Gameday, presented by UK Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back into BBN Game Day. We've got two more positions to preview for you, defensive ends and outside linebackers. And really in Brad White's scheme, both of these are very versatile positions and guys who are asked to do a lot. So they have to be good.
Indeed they do. Lucky for us, Josh Paschal is still here. And he's pretty darn good. He's joined by a couple of other guys, Isaiah Gibson and Sam Anelli, in one of the more shallow position groups. Gibson and Anelli are both in their second year, but Anelli moved from outside backer to end this spring. Not unusual. You see that a lot.
Yeah, Paschal is another guy who could have left early for the NFL draft, but is hoping to really improve his stock by coming back for another year. Paschal has also dropped some weight and is in the best shape of his life right now. Coach Stoops says Paschal has taken the next step this spring from a guy that's a really good player to someone who can potentially be a game wrecker this season. And as good as Kentucky's defensive line was last year, Kentucky didn't have a guy who could go get a sack on a third down when you needed it like Josh Allen did in 2018. Paschal hopefully becomes that guy this season.
The kid is just playing on another level. His leadership, what he brings, his athleticism, and you know what? He just goes out. He loves ball. You know, he loves ball. I was hoping that I could get him for another. If I can get him another 2 years, it'd be great. But I know that's not possible. But you know what? BBN continue to cling on to him because that kid, he's special.
Well, listen, and he really was just still recovering. When we talk about him being in the best shape of his life, last season he was still recovering and getting into shape after having that time off. So we've heard over and over again about his leadership qualities. This is a guy who's become a two-time team captain. I'd be shocked if he's not there again this year. He's really bringing a lot to this defense. Keith, really, he's probably arguably the most important guy on that side of the ball just because of what a strong leader he is. I think he's that guy on and off the field.
He's one of those. He speaks and everybody's going to listen.
Yes.
Because they believe in what he's saying. They've seen him put in the work. They know everything he had to do just to get back on the field.
No doubt.
So then there's Isaiah Gibson, a guy listed at defensive end, but is really an in-between guy that we'll see line up at tackle as well. He has a real chance at starting on the opposite side of Paschal when the team is in that true 3-4 set. He played in 9 games last season after redshirting in 2019, recorded 5 tackles and a QB hurry, so not a ton of production, but you don't see the field in 9 games if your coaches don't believe in you.
No question about that. Well, Sam Anelli, he's a mystery. He redshirted in 2020 when he was listed as an outside linebacker. Now he's moved to end, eager to see what he can do there. He's an athletic freak and was a Rivals top 100 recruit coming out of high school. A 6'4", 275-pounder, reportedly runs a sub 5 second 40. I mean, come on now, I don't know, but here's the catch. This is his fifth year of football ever in the history of ever. Regardless, Coach Stewart's glad to have him.
I'm hoping that he can grow into a Josh Paschal. Very physical. He's long, has all the measurables that we're looking for, and he's coming along. You're talking about a student of the game. You're talking about a really smart kid. He's doing a really good job. You know, he's been banged up a little bit, but but he's still in the meeting rooms. He's still getting his treatment. He still comes up and he watches, film with us. And you know what? Sam's a great addition to our defensive line, and I'm lucky to have him.
I remember when Kentucky signed him, that was the talk about him, was what an athletic freak he was, but that he's very raw.
Compared him a little bit to Josh Allen, but the rawness that you're talking about exactly, which would be great if we could see a little of that.
Player development, that's what we do here.
And Kentucky added a couple of new guys to be excited about this fall. Jamarius Dinkins and Khalil Saunders, both guys the coaching staff say are eager to get on campus, but it will take a really impressive fall camp for them to crack the rotation this season.
All right, now let's talk about those outside backers. The storylines here are, number one, can Jordan Wright be consistently great like we've seen from him in flashes? And two, how long does it take J.J. Weaver to recover from his ACL injury? Wright's starting without a doubt, and then you'd expect to see one of these guys on the other side. Georgia Tech transfer Justin Dingle, Katie McDaniel, or Marquez Bembry. But for Kentucky to really take the next step forward on defense, Jordan Wright has to be consistent and available.
He's a guy that really has a great grasp of this defense and understanding and awareness and, position flex to play Sam, to play Jack. He can play all over. He plays with great vision, awareness, all that. The thing that we've discussed and he knows, and the thing is the consistency of being available when he's healthy and his body feels good. he can be as dominant a player as that's on our team. Like he has difference-making ability.
Possibly a lot like Jamin Davis, watching him come along.
And maybe take that nice rise like
Yes.
Jamin did last year would
For
be
sure.
awesome. Louisville native J.J. Weaver missed the final 2 games last season after tearing his ACL against Florida, and he still managed to make the All-SEC freshman team. So expectations for Weaver will be sky high once he comes back. It's a kid who has the potential to be the next guy in the long line of NFL linebackers to come from Kentucky. Still no timeline for his return, but we know he's working hard in rehab, and he's already back doing a little running, so hopefully he'll be ready to go shortly after the season begins.
He's really grinding hard, knock on wood, that there's no, setbacks within that, because he's a guy that I think has some really special ability. We've got to be really mindful, of his progression. He looks great right now, and it's, but you have to also understand, when it comes to a knee, it takes time, and you don't want to push too fast.
That's from the Behind Kentucky Football podcast. Good stuff from Curtis Birch. Hope we get to see Weaver in action sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. That'll do it for this week's position previews. Next, we'll talk wide receivers and safeties and nickels. You won't want to miss that next week. But for now, it's a little time to talk golf. Stay with us.
Welcome to the Cheese Show. And when Cheese puts on a performance like this, you might get to the crust and think, it's over. But no. Let's hear it for the Encore Cheese. This ain't just stuffed crust. This is Papa John's crust stuff.
A shield against the elements. Comfort in the midst of chaos. Shelter in the aftermath of destruction. For 75 years, Shelter Insurance has remained true to our promise to be there when you need us most. This is the heartbeat of our company, our why. And throughout our history, it has never wavered. Shelter Insurance. For your auto, home, and life. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Welcome to the Cheese Show. And when Cheese puts on a performance like this, you might get to the crust and think, it's over. But no. Let's hear it for the Encore Cheese. This ain't just stuffed crust. This is Papa John's crust stuff.
Welcome back into BBN Game Day. The Kentucky women's golf team back in action for day 2 of the NCAA championships.
The Cats qualified for nationals for the first time since 1992. They're ready to make the most out of this opportunity in Scottsdale, Arizona. Every team plays in the first 3 rounds. After that, Kentucky will need to be in the top 15 of the 24 total teams to advance to the 4th round. The national champion will be crowned next Wednesday. Follow along with the team's progress on their Twitter account at Kentucky W Golf. All right, we have our Coke play of the week after the break.
Stay with us. You won't want to miss it.
Before the victory, there's this. The first step. You dig in, work hard, win or lose, try again. Those are big. But it all starts with that first step. And to get there, we come here to the University of Kentucky, where every moment and every victory is wildly possible.
The sun shines bright, the corn tops ripe, and birds make music all the day. This is our old Kentucky home, a place where we take the time to create and enjoy life's sweetest pleasures, like the finest Kentucky bourbon, the most authentic bluegrass music, and the most heartwarming family meal times that feature the highest quality meats from Kentucky Legend. Serve your family the very best. Kentucky Legend, where food ought to come from.
We went to Skyline knowing that we could trust that they were doing everything right. The tables were far apart, and we felt very comfortable sitting at our table. We ordered our go-to 3-ways and cheese conies and extra crackers and root beers. We felt very safe. It was just a little piece of home for us and, having that sense of normalcy. And we left knowing that this is a place that we can come back to over and over again.
Well, meet Mose. This little guy is the Kentucky women's golf team's mascot, and he's our Coke pet of the week. That's close enough, right?
Well, he deserves his moment in the sun here. Look at this.
I love that.
Lazy Lord belongs to freshman Laney Fry, who says that he loves golf carts, but he's just really lazy. Look at that, just hanging out, sleeping on the putting green while she's practicing. Really not much help as far as that goes. But
all good stuff.
Come on now, that's
Look
cute.
at that. Loves the camera.
Destined for the camera. Needed his moment.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us on another episode of BBN Game Day.
Until next week, go Big Blue.
BBN Game Day, presented by UK Federal Credit Union, sponsored by Coca-Cola, Hunt Brothers Pizza, Kentucky Legend, Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, Kroger, Lexington Opera House, Papa John's, Shelter Insurance, and by Skyline Chili.